I like saying that Anna was forced to be my friend. She was something called EP Buddy, which is a guy that AIESEC gives you to soften the cultural shock and to help you cope with, papers. We got along, and we spent pretty much time together, but only thanks to this interview I found out something super interesting about her. She has perfect pitch. This means that, just like Mozart, she can listen to a symphony and then reproduce it the exact way it is. Besides that, Anna told me how she learned to play piano, why she joined AIESEC, but most importantly, she told me the name of SpongeBob characters in Serbian version. My name is Federico Rossi, and I had to spend 6 weeks in Belgrade, Serbia for an internship with AIESEC. Actually, I ended up spending 3 months because the city and its people are amazing. And this is Serbiandpity, the podcast where I collect the interview that I took to the people I met along the way. Okay, now you can enjoy the episode.
Hi Anna.
Hi Federico.
How are you?
I'm great, how are you?
I'm pretty fine. I'm always a bit nervous when I start interviewing people, but I can ignore it. So I've been hosted in your house for a couple of days and now I'm hosting you in my little podcast. It is not a balanced situation, but it's something. So we met because you were my EP buddy for AIESEC, and I usually start interviewing people talking about AIESEC, but I think it can be boring. So I'd like to start talking about your piano.
Oh really?
Yeah, I'm pretty interested in piano players.
I wasn't expecting that question.
You told me you learned it all by yourself.
I started learning by myself and then I got into a music school. And then I started really, really loving it. So I got to a music high school as well.
And how does a music high school work?
Well, you have classes with piano, you have classes with like music theory, a lot of stuff like that. You play with other people. And like in Serbia, you can go to a music high school and a normal high school. But if you go only to a music high school, you also have Serbian and maths and other subjects.
You go to school for like 6 hours per day and then you go to piano school?
Oh yeah. That's how I went. So I went to a high school, like a normal one, actually the one that has classes in English. And then on some days I had piano lessons, and some days I had music theory lessons. But usually the entire Saturday was filled with like classes for music school.
Yeah, you've been busy in the latest years.
Yeah, I finished it last year. I had like a big concert and everything.
Cool. Like an essay.
Yeah, something like an essay, but like when you finish the music high school, you have to play a concert that is 45 minutes at least, all by yourself.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So one piano lesson, how long does it last?
One lesson is 45 minutes, but you play like hour and a half, and like that is maybe once or twice per week.
Wow. When you start playing piano, I guess you suck.
Of course.
It must be very, very hard.
Yeah, it's like any other instrument.
And how long did it take to learn just a bit to can do something?
Well, it took me a few weeks, but it's because I was very stubborn and I was at my cousin's place. We were like having a family meeting or something like that. And they had like a small electric piano and I was so bored that I was like, okay, let's try playing this. And I started playing by ear a little by bit and I loved it. And when my dad entered the room, he was like, holy shit, you can play. And I was like, yeah, holy shit, yes, I can. So we got a small electric piano and I started learning by myself, and it took me a few weeks to get the hang of it, but it's because I learned by ear.
You learn it by ear?
By ear, like, yeah, it's a phrase used when I hear a sound and I can play the exact same one.
Like Mozart?
Yeah, like Mozart, of course.
I don't know, I heard somewhere that Mozart could listen to a symphony and then reproduce it.
Just like write it down. Yeah, I know. It's called having a perfect pitch. It's like you can identify sounds like perfectly. I don't have perfect pitch as in I can hear a sound and tell you like which note it is, but I can repeat it perfectly. And like if you play me a song, I can play it immediately.
Wow, I didn't know that. Why didn't you tell me?
I don't know. We didn't talk about it much. I told you I wasn't expecting the question.
Like, hi, I'm Anna. I can play whatever you want if I can listen. Yeah, it would be a bit strange.
Yeah, that's my new introduction. I'm gonna put it on the CV.
Yeah, that's cool. And have you been doing this since you were a kid, or you just discovered it?
Oh no, I discovered it when I was in elementary school, maybe 5th grade, something like that. You know, when you want to the more you play, the easier it gets to identify sounds and everything. So at first, I could, guess it more or less. But then after a few years of practicing and playing, I got to the part where I can pretty easily, like, you give me a song and, I go along with it.
I will make you listen the intro theme of my podcast, and you will reproduce it. Okay.
Oh yeah, we can make a cover. Actually, it's gonna.
Cool. I didn't know it. I have never known anyone that can do this. I know a girl that can repeat everything you say backwards.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty useless. I mean, you can't make anything with this.
Yeah, I heard a guy on TikTok that can do that, and I was like, why? Why is
Yes,
this?
she should open a TikTok channel. I told her to go to Italians Got Talent, but she didn't believe in herself enough.
Oh, that's too bad. Maybe she should join AIESEC, like to learn how to get out of her comfort zone.
And now you are pretty skilled with piano.
Yeah. I can play guitar too, but I'm a little bit less skilled. I can play the chords and something like that.
And your perfect pitch works also with guitar?
Yeah, I can guess the chords. Like, you play me something and I know how to play the melody.
So you just need to learn how guitar works, and then you can.
Yeah, I just need to learn how an instrument works and I can repeat it.
Fuck, that's so cool.
Yeah, but I love music. I thought the piano was like, I mean, it still is, of course, my favorite instrument, but then I realized it doesn't matter which instrument I'm playing. I just love learning everything about music. And like music theory as well, it's basically like maths, but it's music. Like, you use music notes and you calculate the spaces between them, like how they fit and everything about it. And it's so genius to me to learn.
Tell me something more about it. I mean, it's math.
It's like math, but with music. Like, how math, you learn how to, learn addition, like 5 plus 3 equals 8, blah, blah, blah. In music theory, like, when you match certain notes, you get chords. And like with chords, you get, the bass of a song, okay? And then you learn what's it called? Scales.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it's like K, like maybe, I don't know, C major. It's like the most basic one when you play all the white keys on the piano.
Yes, I've already heard something about this, but I don't know anything about music.
Okay, well, yeah, those tell you which tones you can use to make a melody that sounds nice. Or like, if you use a major scale, it's gonna sound happy. If you use a minor scale, it's gonna sound sad. And it's all about the spaces between the tone, like if it's a whole step or a half step between the tones and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So like, you learn how to make a list of basically of sounds that you can use to make a certain type of a melody. And like, when you mix and match them, like with different spaces in between them, you get different vibes. Like, you can make a chord that sounds happy, something that sounds sad. You can get something that sounds anxious, maybe, if it's like a diminished chord.
So like there is like a formula for every feeling.
Yeah, it's basically a formula, which is why I hate most of the popular music. There was a period where every song sounded exactly the same, like the same combination of chords, and I know everybody talks about this, which is like, I mean, it sounds good, but everything sounds the same when you break it down. Like, when you remove the lyrics, you get the same song. But yeah, it's like a formula for a sad song. You use different spaces for different notes, and like, you can transpose it to make it sound higher or lower or whatever, but it's gonna give you the same vibe. I don't know, like, it's used the most for maybe in like the music industry for movies or for anime a lot. Like, they have certain combination of sounds that they play in the background that you don't even realize you're listening to. And that's what they say, the perfect music for the movie is the one you don't realize is playing, but it's giving you an atmosphere that you don't know, you don't notice it consciously. I don't know, and that's why I listen to something about anime music, like the openings. They all have, it's like a formula that makes you feel, I don't know, that makes you feel powerful or motivated or sad or like, I don't know, melancholic or whatever they need. They have like a formula and they just mix it all together. And even before you watch a show, you know what's the theme.
Wow, super.
Yeah.
So you can like take an happy song and then translate it to sad vibes.
Yeah, well, that's pretty easy actually.
Wow.
Like, you can give me the happiest song ever. I just need to change it like to a minor scale or, you know, more or less change a few tones, and then maybe play it a little bit slower, and that's it.
Wow, because sometimes I listen to some like strange version of some song, like
Yeah.
yes, I don't know, they take a song from a band and then they like play the same music, but it has completely different vibes.
Yeah, it's because they use a little bit different formula.
And so you just need to change the tone and the space between the notes.
You change the space between the notes and you get like a different combination of everything.
Wow.
Which is why, when I was having that class, so they give you like a formula. It's like literally a letter and some numbers, and like they give you the codes and they give you one tone and they tell you, okay, now based on this one tone, make me, and then like a bunch of other stuff. I love doing it because it makes so much sense to me. And when I read the formulas, I know what it's gonna sound like, and like I picture it in my head, and everything is perfect. But like after one class, like after 45 minutes, my head hurts so much. Like I would just sit there for 10 minutes and be like, shit, I need a coffee.
So once I read or I listened to somewhere that people good at piano are good at maths. Is it true?
Yeah, my maths teacher actually, I started having a maths class with him in elementary school before I started playing the piano. And one time I mentioned that I started playing the piano, and he was like, duh, of course you're gonna be good in music because you're good in maths. And I wasn't expecting it, but I think he was
Cool.
right.
Okay. So maybe if I want to be better at maths, I could start playing piano. But I think yes,
Well, yeah,
things could only get worse in the first moments.
No, well, I heard a lot of time that when you play the piano, you play a completely different melody at the same time with both your hands. So it uses both hemispheres of your brain. So it's like pretty good for
Mental health, fuck meditation.
yeah, and it's good for like when you get old, you're gonna have let's say a better brain. Like the chance you're gonna get Alzheimer's is much lower.
That's very interesting. I've never played any instrument. I remember when I was a kid and I said to my parents, if one day I want to start playing some instrument, please just stop me.
Why?
I don't know. I just found it completely useless. But I didn't have any kind of music culture. But when I became a teenager and I started like listening music and stuff like that, I started interesting in music and stuff like that. Now I'd like to learn how to play the bass.
Well, I mean, it's not too hard to play it, and like a lot of people actually, I never heard anyone who said like, "Oh, I want to play the bass." Like everyone, usually people who play the bass in band are made to play it. Like the concert I told you about, that like of a band from the other guy in AIESEC. I talked to their bassist, and he was like, "Oh no, I don't usually play the bass. I play the guitar, but like, oh, the bassist quit, so I had to switch to bass." And I was like, "Wow."
In a band, usually the best player is the weird one, like Flea in the Red Hot Chili Peppers, or I don't know. I also like that. And talking about AIESEC, you've been busy all this time,
Well, yeah.
and you decided also to join AIESEC.
Well, at first, I don't know if it's good to say this, but at first I didn't want to join it. Actually, my friend joined it because she's the type of person that loves to volunteer, and she was like, "Oh, you should try it as well." And I was like, "Nah, I'm not the person for that." But after half of a year of her convincing me, like not convincing me all the time, she was just like mentioning it here and there, saying like, "Oh, this happened, that happened, blah blah blah." I was like, okay, maybe I can join that as well. Like, let's give it a try. And here I am. Like, I met so many people, and I'm
here
so
you
happy
are.
that I changed my mind in the end.
Yeah, with AIESEC you meet so many people, and everyone is very
Energetic.
talkative and kind.
Yeah.
You make many friends. I think if I went abroad, maybe I could start making some volunteering stuff, because it's a very good way to meet other people.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you like the most in AIESEC?
Honestly, I want to say the community, but like also everything that we do together, because it's not just the people. It's not that you just meet them. Like it's fun. You can meet people anytime, anywhere. I can go to any event and meet new people. But in AIESEC, it's more like we're a community that not only we hang out and stuff like that, we get to meet each other, but we also get to do something together. And like AIESEC has many projects and many I don't know events that happen all the time. It's not just that you're spending time together. is that after a month or 2 or 3, or I don't know, after some time, you actually get to see the result of what you did. Like, you coming to Serbia is the result of, someone's work for like a whole like mandate that's like 6 months.
Wow. And they just need to fill a form.
Yeah, you just need to fill a form, but like the process that we do, like the department that brings you here, which is my department, has so much stuff to do actually before you come here, and we have to prepare a lot. We have to prepare the company. We need to find the company first, and like just doing something random that you don't see the result of can usually be a lot demotivating. But like in my department, when we see other people like from different countries actually come to Serbia in the end, we are so proud of our work, because like it means everything worked out in the end, and like it wasn't all for nothing. It was like
With me, it definitely worked out.
yeah.
Yes, and for example, how many people there was candidated for my project?
Oh, I don't know, because I wasn't in AIESEC when the company was signed.
Ah, so you've been in AIESEC for
Since August. Yeah, I joined in August, and then like usually people who host EPs and like people who are EP buddies are in AIESEC for a few months longer, but you came here later than the other EPs, so there was time for new members to join, and I was one of the new members, and they asked us like, "Hey, do you want to skip a few steps and try this?" And I was like, "Yes, of course I want to."
Of course.
Yeah, so like they gave us a choice of maybe like 5 people who are coming later than they were supposed to, like you, Valkyria, and a few others, Quinn, and I was like, "Yes, I want this guy." So like they gave us some time to choose, and I was like, "No, no, like this is my choice," and then like you can choose the other.
Okay. Thank you. Is it because I studied design?
A little bit, like most of it was because you came by the end of August, and that was like I had a bit more time then, so I was like, okay, it's better to spend the time like while my school didn't start yet. But
Okay.
like you're still here, so I guess we're making
Sorry,
it work.
I'm literally in your house at the moment. Talking back about piano, you play piano, music stuff, and you also study design. Which kind of links can you find between this kind of stuff?
Oh, I don't know. Like I can see a lot of key points that are the same, both for drawing and like playing music, because you have to practice a lot to get good, and like you need to draw often, just like you need to play music often. Like if you drop it for maybe 2 months, you're gonna forget a lot. So like you need to be consistent.
Yes, that's the hardest part.
Yeah. So like you need to be consistent, and that's like not the easiest part.
How do you cope with it? How can you put yourself on the chair and start practicing with piano or with design?
I just tell myself, yes, you have to do it now, and like you have no choice. It's like kind of it's not really forcing myself. It's just telling me like now you have to start, and like once you start, it's not too hard to like.
Yeah, the hardest part is starting.
Yeah, like when I was preparing for the big concert that I had to practice for 2 hours a day at least, like to have it all perfect. And like the first 5 minutes are hard because you sit down and you're like, what am I gonna play now? Am I gonna practice scales? Am I gonna practice, I don't know, this or that, and blah blah blah? And I get very frustrated. But then, like after 5 minutes, it's like snap. It's like you forget the next 2 hours. They just like come along. And like it's the same with drawing for me, at least. I don't know if it's like that for you. Like you're making something and you're like, oh shit, I need to start this project, blah blah blah, and then you start it, and then like boom, suddenly it's 2 a.m. and you are hungry, and you need to drop everything, and you didn't even notice that you've been working for hours.
Yeah, the key point is just starting. So I read like some books about
Motivation.
no, it's not about motivation. It's like about habits. Yeah, if you want to start a new habit, for example, like I don't know, workout 1 hour every day. A very important thing is to have everything you need very close, very easy to get. Because if it's easy to get what you need, it's also easy to start.
Yeah, that's also true. And like I heard also that it takes 3 weeks to form a habit. So like whatever you're doing, you just need to, you need it to last 3 weeks. After 3 weeks, it's gonna be easy.
There's one thing that I want to ask you, because we started talking about this in the first days, and like during my experience in Serbia, I saw it many times. Why in Belgrade, at least not in Serbia, everyone is crazy about Naruto?
Oh.
Because I've seen so many people wearing like Naruto t-shirts and stuff like that, and I say, Okay, it's not so strange, but when I go around in Italy, I never see.
Oh, well, I don't know, like, because it's just a really good anime, and also because when we were all kids, it was the thing that was most often aired on TV. So like, whenever somebody,
Really?
yeah, it was on TV all the time, and like when we were, I don't know, when I was in kindergarten and like primary school, if you know turn on TV that has like cartoons and stuff for kids, it was like Naruto and a few other things. So like there is not, I think, not one kid in Belgrade that didn't grow up with Naruto.
In Italy, we had the same situation, but with Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, we had that as well.
Dragon Ball can join people from the 80s to
Yes.
the 2000 because it's been on TV every day, like from Monday to Friday, from the 80s, 90s until I don't know 5 years ago. Every day. Sometimes I remember when I was like 14, there was the guy that was trying to sell us the vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
Okay, he started talking with my mom, and there was my brother and me on the sofa watching TV. And he said, "Oh, there is Dragon Ball. I also saw that when I was a kid." But he was like 30.
Yeah, there was a phase where when Dragon Ball was also like aired here all the time, which was pretty cool. I think everybody watched it as well. And like also the next most popular one was like Tokyo Mew Mew and Mermaid Melody, which is like anime.
Yeah, we also had
Yeah,
that.
like it's not just like you would say maybe, oh, that's the girly thing, you know, and like Dragon Ball is for the guys, but no, like everybody watched both of them.
Yeah, they fought enemies with the power of singing.
Yeah.
Your cartoons were in Japanese with Serbian subtitles,
No, it was like Serbian.
Serbian voices. Really? Why?
Yeah, what do you mean why? Because it was better.
Because everything in Serbia has subtitles usually.
No. I think every cartoon that we watched was actually in Serbian. And like sometimes, but like we don't do that often, but sometimes they even translate names and stuff like that to make it easier for kids to understand. Like I gave you the SpongeBob example, but like
Yeah. Let's repeat the name of SpongeBob characters in.
SpongeBob in Serbian is Sunđer
Yeah, which is Spongy and
Yeah,
Bob.
or
Okay.
like
Spongy in Serbian and
yeah,
then
or
Bob.
like the dude with tentacles. What's his name in English?
I don't know in English, but in Italy he is Squiddy.
Yeah, Squidward, I think. Yeah, Squiddy in Serbian is like Lignjoslav. Lignjo from like the squid, and like Slav because you know Slav.
Yeah, because Slav, it's the end of many old names.
Yeah, it's like Slav from Slavic, like from that is our type of people. Like Slavic people is like people from Serbia, but also people from I don't know Slovenia or Poland or Russia and da. Okay, like it's the same group.
Okay, but in Croatian, Squiddy
is
is
Calamarco.
Calamarco, I loved it. I will tell it to every Marco I know in Italy.
SpongeBob wasn't my favorite cartoon. Like I liked it, but I watched it like if it was aired, I was like, okay, let's watch this.
Yeah, but I had a conversation last day with Uroš. We talked about Serbian movies. Yeah, he told me almost everything in Serbia is in original language with subtitles. Well, maybe
yeah.
cartoons are with voices.
No, like the TV shows are definitely subtitles, movies as well, but like the cartoons for kids and like cartoon movies like Ice Age, we have them in Serbian.
Yeah, because it's for kids and kids can read subtitles. Tell me something about Turbo Folk.
Oh no, I don't know anything about Turbo Folk. Like I like some of it, but like I don't know nearly as much as some other people do.
Okay, you're the wrong person to ask it. But for example, Turbo Folk is listened by every kind of people in Serbia. I mean, young people and adults.
Yeah, because like
there is no distinction.
Like everybody listens to it, and it's because like I don't know. Some people listen for the melody, some people listen for the lyrics, but like most people listen to it because we drink and listen to it. So
yeah, it's a good background.
It's a very good combination. You know, like you go to a place, you have rakia and you have Turbo Folk, and like it just works.
And what about Serbian trap?
I don't know. I like it. Like I like the rhythm. If you want me to give you names or something, I can only give you the most basic ones. So probably ask somebody else.
Yeah, I already know De Vito.
Yeah, De Vito maybe.
And then I don't know. But the music festival, the first week I came here, it was very, very cool.
Yeah, that was trap music.
Okay, Anna, I think I have enough content to close this interview and leave you in peace for this night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been cool.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.
So, this is Serbiandpity, the most precious souvenir I brought with me after the 3 months I spent in Belgrade, Serbia. Hope you enjoyed the interview. Share it with whoever you want and stay tuned for the next episode. Ajde, ajde!